Hi there, you're listening and watching Rated M. I am your host, TR. Now we're getting ready to get into the real nitty gritty of real talk. Now, today's subject is testing. Should there be testing for welfare recipients? And when I say testing, I'm talking about drug testing. You can give us a call with your opinion on 973 460-8931. Again, hit us up and call us with your opinion on 973-468931. And please remember, you have a minute to state your comment of your opinion, and please, people, keep it clean, okay? And we're going to be able to agree to disagree. Please, I ask everyone. So on that note right there, of course, I always like to go with the hardcore person with the personality that has no mercy for anyone. And you know who that is. That's Ruth Danessa.
I say we definitely go for it. I know there is a cost, but there has to be, we've talked about it briefly, some accountability. I work, they do random testing where I work. And this is me, like you say, contributing and showing up to work, and I'm actually providing something in exchange for the money that I'm getting, and I am subjected to that. So I think definitely we should do it, and there has to be some accountability for people that are getting our tax money.
Oh, okay. How about you, Anissa?
I've heard that people are tricking the system within welfare, and I've seen, being on welfare myself, I've seen people who talk about what they're going to do with their money when they get it. So I don't think it's let's test these people and see if they're doing the right thing and then kick them off welfare, but offering other alternatives to help them become better citizens so that they're able to care for themselves more, as opposed to just like, all right, get off because we don't want to spend our state dollars on you. Mm-hmm. I think it's more heart that needs to be involved.
But basically the question that I'm asking, should they be tested? Should welfare recipients be tested?
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with being tested.
What would be the purpose behind it? Is it just to see if they're on drugs? So like Anissa said, they can be kicked off, or are we going to try and implement a program to get them off drugs, which we can't even do now effectively? So what would we'd be spending more money on these drug tests for welfare recipients and public assistance recipients for what?
Well, this has started already in Utah. That's why I read about it and I'm bringing it up. Now, I used to be on the system too, mm-hmm. Okay, and I got up off of it. I say yes to the drug testing, and I'm going to tell you why. And the reason why I say yes is because of this. If I'm working and I'm getting a job at, say, Mickey D's, McDonald's, don't you know you have to do a drug test just mm-hmm. to flip that burger? Mm-hmm. Now, and I'm giving them a service. I am working for that money. Mm-hmm. And if I'm subject to a drug test so that I won't be a liability for their company or take advantage where the money, if I'm on drugs and I'm handling flipping burgers and I'm not in the right state of mind and then I get hurt, then I want to sue, and it was all because I was on drugs. And that's where most of the company and integrity you have to worry about, like with the bank. They do that because if you're that in debt, that means there's a good chance of you embezzling money. There's a lot of things that go along with it. And I just think there's something wrong with this, because if I'm a taxpayer, I'm trying to make a difference, and I have to go through this. How come they're not going through anything and they're getting everything free and they're not going through it, and they're a tax and they're a liability too?
Yeah, I agree with you.
So with that right there, we have a call. Hello? Hello,
Walking out here.
Hey, hi, caller. Your name, please?
Oh, my name is Terry Gunthroat.
Terry Cutthroat?
Hi, Terry.
Terry Gunthroat.
Gunthroat.
Gunthroat. Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you for calling in, sir. We're
All
gonna keep
right.
it clean,
I would like
right?
to say give big shout outs to Tawana. She did her thing last night in Masonic Temple.
All right, yeah, we
Aw,
gave
thank
that
you,
shout out.
Terry.
Yeah, and thank you for calling in and showing the love.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you got to say about what my question is?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm just calling and showing you love. That's it.
Oh, okay, all right,
Thank
we
you.
thank
Keep
you.
working, girl. Keep working.
All
Thank
right.
you, Terry.
That's what's up.
All right, bye bye. And I look at it. I think that is so unfair.
True.
And to in general, just in general, that sure you should have programs so they could get up off of it. But we're talking about the mindset of people. A lot of people are on drugs, and I know that. They're on the system, they're on drugs, and the reason why they're on the system is because they're on drugs. You agree to disagree? I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's not like that with everyone. Of course, there's always exceptions
But how-
to what is going on.
Not that this is an excuse, but we have to think about this too. How much more are we going to label and kind of degrade people who need to receive public assistance just because there needs, I don't know the full gist of what's going on with that, but if you're just going to across the panel drug test everybody that applies for welfare, for food stamps, for WIC, all the public assistance programs, you're labeling a whole entire group. You're
Well,
saying,
I
Well,
look
I
at,
get both of you. I get where both of you coming from. I get it where TR is coming from as far as like, even when you start a job, it's like we have to go through all of this, I get it with, Ruth, our taxes and stuff. It's like kind of unfair. It's just like we're just working. We have to do everything to basically help others, And I get it, but it's like I understand where you come from too. It's just like how much degrading do we have to do to people that is on the
Already.
system?
Yeah,
But
that-
it's
I
just
don't
like
think it's degrading, and at the same time, if you keep
No.
giving these people money, whether it's food stamp or whatever,
Yeah.
you're enabling it.
Right.
You're enabling them to go out there and sell their food stamp and go get drugs.
not
And I
everybody
see-
does that.
If you're on drugs and you're receiving these food stamps, you don't have the money. You're going to use
yeah,
this food
and,
stamp
There-
to
there,
get
and there are
there
a lot
are-
of
I've
people-
been, I went to, I was in Walmart and a couple asked me to pay for my grocery in exchange for the cash.
I know people that are not on drugs that
And-
sell their food stamps for cash so they can buy a Prada
Now-
bag or shoes.
Now, my experience that I didn't like about it is because with me losing my job of 14 years of service, and I needed to get the
assistant.
the assistance, they gave me such a hard time.
right.
Like even with me collecting unemployment, they only let me collect unemployment for 6 months. That was it.
When-
I
how
worked
long
for
have
the
you been
state
paying
for
into it?
14 years, and then when I tried to go apply just for like, food stamps or Medicaid or just rental assistance, they gave me such a hard time. And it's just like I don't understand that. It's just like you have people who's been on the system for years that just come
Generations
and just,
of family that raised a kid
and
the next
people
kid.
who's in certain situations, it's just like you just really give them a hard time, like screw them. So it's just like I had no choice but to keep going, keep working, do what I need to do, because it's just like in the time frame of with you going back and forth down there, trying. It's just too. I don't.
It's crazy, but I also see it as this, that when you go down there and you go for public assistance, there's certain things you have to submit. And I really think that should be one of the things, because you're going down there and they don't know if you're trying to get over on the system. But just like if I want to have food stamps, they have to know my income to see if I qualify. I truly believe that should be one of the qualifications to see if you are eligible for it. Not to degrade them, but to see if you're eligible for it.
I see it as, I'm sorry, I see it as a tool as to where people who need help, they can find out who really needs it. Because I think if people are coming down there to get assistance, they're not going to be upfront about their drug addiction, a fear that they're going to be turned away. So I feel like it could be used as a tool. Okay, we found this. We have a caller. So I have to be quiet.
We have a caller. Hi,
Yes.
caller. Your name, please.
Hey, I mean, young you.
Okay. And your opinion is?
Well, my opinion is that if the welfare is based on the children, then we need to get whoever's receiving the welfare to help to make sure they take care of the children.
I agree with you.
I agree with you. And if they have a drug addiction or a habit, then there's a good chance that it's not going to the children.
Right.
Do you think that the parents should be drug tested when they apply for welfare?
That's Lainey speaking. Asking you that question, sir.
Did you hear me, you?
No, not really.
I was saying, this is Lainey. Do you feel like the parents should be drug tested before they're given the funds or when they apply for welfare? Do you think that that's something that should be put into place?
Yes, I do, because, we need to know where's the money going, and not saying to take the money away, but to make sure that if they're giving that money, they receive the help to help the children to do everything that needs to get done. Because normally welfare is for the help of the child. It's not for the parent itself.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So with that, they could get help from that. I think not to downgrade them or anything like that, but they can get help because they know, okay, you're on drugs. What assistance can we give you to better yourself?
But they're doing that anyway as a general, just regardless of what it is.
What are they doing?
If you have a drug issue, if you're in the system or not, there's always help around.
That
We
doesn't
have
always
here-
get it though.
And they don't always ask for it. Sometimes people have
yeah.
to be forced into it.
Right.
And then nowadays, with people that's, working, sometimes people don't want to go the extra mile for all of that. Some people are just there for their job, just to be there for their job. They can really care less about what other avenues, and just with the drug testing, that'd be more work on,
I like
the
that you
social
pointed that out.
workers. They're not going to want to deal
I
with that.
love that you pointed that out, because a lot of people in public health and in job titles that are there to serve the people, they go exactly by that checklist. And you can see visually that there's something else going on in that household. And if it's not on that checklist, we're not going to make that relevant today because it's going to make my job harder.
Yep.
And that's not cool. You're there to help everybody in any way that you can.
And I think some of the people who's been on the system for years, it's just like they're just there in the system. It's just, I don't even think they have to come back and do any type of recertification or anything, because it's like new people who's trying to come into the system. They don't even really want to be
Yeah.
bothered.
They
They just
make my
want to stay with the
grandma do.
old files.
I
It
also
seems like.
feel that the caseworkers, it should be after so often, they should be trying to help them.
Definitely.
That instead of it being generation after generation, okay. Because when you're in the system, you have to see your caseworker, every 6 months? At least that's how it was for me back in the day, way
It's
back.
periodically, yeah.
All right. So you update what's going on. And are you going to school?